Okay, we're on.
Right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Monday night Zoom call on Tuesday night. And yeah, myself and Andy Roberts this evening, we're going to be covering just some topics that are really relevant to obviously this stage in the month. So what we're going to cover tonight is just how to close big, the importance of your 150 PQV, and then hitting those promo and quals. And all of them kind of sit together with this last few days of the month, and we want to really inject into all that until the very, very last minute. So, have we got everyone muted there, yeah? And
I'll mute everybody, Sean, and then unmute you, okay?
Yeah, cheers. Go for that one.
Okay, Sean.
All right, cool. So, yeah, all three of those topics really are what's going to give you that real momentum at the end of the month and real sort of big finish. And when you hear so many stories from regional vice presidents and national vice presidents that when they were going for a promotion, it was a big finish that they had. So if some of you are asking why is that, or you don't quite get that, that's because they're always going in with this never say bye attitude. It's never over. And I've heard a few murmurs of people even 10 days away saying, "Oh, I'm not going to do it." And trust me, nothing. Your biggest part of your month is your last 10 days of your week. Your first sort of 2 weeks, 3 weeks of the month is planting seeds. Is building rapport, building relationships with people, getting your one-to-ones in, and getting like events booked in. And it's in those last sort of 10 days, that last week, where it should start showing up. But it's only going to start showing up as long as you're still believing, as long as you're still focusing on not just a number, but you're focusing on helping everybody in your team as well. Whether that's just you, whether that's just 2 or 3 people in your team, but you're helping every single one of those and making sure that they understand that in this business, we go to the last minute. Now, it's a little bit different in this country in the sense that in America, they don't have a 7-day cooling off period. So it's important that we understand that 7-day cooling off period and know that it's the only thing with the cooling off period is for the individual that they can't do an order of over £200, which doesn't mean they can't sign up PCs, doesn't mean they can't be doing product workshops, doesn't mean they can't be doing launches. They can sponsor, but they just can't put their business order into their business tools at that point. So don't get down that mindset that you've got to wait 7 days until they can do anything. Get 4 launches booked. If you sign someone up on the 24th, 25th, go and get 3 or 4 launches done with them immediately. Because if you go and find 3 or 4 brand new consultants at those launches, each one of those can do £200 order. That's about 300-400 QV each, and then they can go and get some PCs as well. That could accumulate to possibly an extra 2,000-4,000 going onto your business when you were thinking, "Oh, I'll just wait 7 days till they can get their order, then I'll wait another 3 or 4 days for their order to come, and then I'll do a launch." It's getting into that mentality as soon as they've signed that. As soon as they've registered online and they've got their PIN and ID, that it's bam, we're booking an order in, bam, we're booking a product workshop in. And that sort of momentum going into close, that's how you're going to really sort of close big. And also, when I was living up in Leeds and I was living with Regional Vice President Kim Meller, we used to get people round and we were gathering people within our team on close day. Especially if we had someone go in area, especially if Kim was in region qual and we were looking to get that over the line. And when I was going to region, we'd get the team together and we're focusing on which PC, all pulling together on which PCs can we ring, which new consultants can we ring that have not necessarily done a full order yet, or have they got any last sort of minute PCs that they can push through. So it's really, really, really understanding that we go until the last minute, until the QV goes back to 0. It's having that mentality of going right through to the finish. Because what that's going to do, and if you are setting that mentality, what that's going to do is is compound that over time when you've got a massive team. And it was National Vice President Meg McLean that was talking recently at Area Retreat, how I think it was something like she closed, the last couple of days with 80,000. Now that to me doesn't surprise me. Now that might sound a lot to you guys right now, but that doesn't surprise me, because she will have created that culture and that mentality within her team. And when you've got a team the size of a region, the size of a nation, and you've got 100, 200 people going in with that mentality, if they're all just pulling in one extra PC or one extra order that's 100 or 200 QV, just simply do the maths on that. It's big volume, and that's what you really need to be creating going into that. That's what's going to set you up, being able to hit those goals when you're at area, when you're at region. But it starts now. It starts as a consultant, and you should drive that right through to DM. Every sort of level that I got to, if I look back and reflect on it, when I was going DM, it was the last day of the month. It was there. I knew it was happening. I was aware I was in qual. I knew how much I needed, and I was pulling things together. Same with area. At the last minute, the very last second that I went into area qual, it was almost at midnight on that day that I just about scraped over. Now, let me tell you as well what else that does, and the mentality to adopt. It's separating yourself from it. It's thinking, what good am I doing for other people as well? And that's not just the people in your downline, in your success line. It's your upline as well, because your upline will also be striving for levels. Yvonne Dixon, I think when I went area qual, my volume helped her go to region qual. Now, I was unaware of that at the time, but that was a great feeling, knowing that I'd put something in that had helped at that time. Now National Vice President Yvonne Dixon helped push her over the line into region and put a Mercedes on the car on the road in sort of the north. And that 3.5 years ago, there was not many up here at all. So that was a massive, massive thing. So by having that mentality, you're really not just helping yourself, but again, helping other people in your success line downwards, but also in your upline. So 3 top tips really for that is 1, gathering your team together. Also, we have so many PCs that we might believe, they've bought something, and maybe they've bought something twice and they've not reordered again. On those last 2 days, especially on the last day on close, get ringing around those PCs. Be ringing them and saying, look, can I help you get this? Can I help you order this? I saw that you ordered this last time. Really engaging with them. And you know what? Even if you don't get an order from them, it's still great to connect with them. So always be setting, when you've got your diary, on pure activity and being able to connect with your team, to connect with your PCs, and getting some extra orders over the line, because that is exactly what's going to take you through those levels. If you need to do 3,000 or 4,000 tomorrow to get to area qual, then that is not a problem. It's not even a shadow of a doubt that should enter your mind that is going to happen. If you need 3,000 or 4,000 to get over the line to complete district, that should not be a problem. That should not even be a question at this moment in time. Until it strikes back to zero, your mentality should be, I'm 100% going for this, and I will make that. And if you don't, so what? You've gone and set a big effort, and you've set yourself up certainly for the next month to be completing. So it's just going all that way to the finish line. Like a sprinter at the end of it, he ducks his head right through just to make sure, even if he's 10 metres ahead, he's still going to duck his head to get that best time possible. You want to finish on the best QV possible that you can do. Not just for you, but for the evidence for your success line, but also for your upline as well, because we all work together with this. And that's just going to create a real buzz in yourself. It's going to create an excitement every single month. The lead up to close should be a really exciting couple of days. It shouldn't be, I've done this, I've done that. You should be looking forward to the last couple of days, the last 48 hours, pulling your team together. That's what this business is all about. And those last couple of days, you hear it, it's where the magic happens. And that's down to you as individuals to make that happen. So going on to the next sort of point, the importance of your 150 PQV. Now, this is standalone, the bare minimum that you, as a consultant, as anybody, you should be doing. Personally, now I do 200, 300, 400 personal QV, and that is simply topping up my business tools, using new products that I haven't tried, and buying some presents, gifts, or samples for some people. Now, every single month, 150 PQV. Even if you've got it through PCs, I'm saying to you that I believe it's hugely important for integrity, for you to be engaging with the products, that you are buying at least that amount of products each month. And again, compound that over your business. And if you have 100, 200, 300 people in your success line that are all sticking to that bare minimum, then you know that's what you're getting with that business. You know you've got a team of people that care about this business, that are engaging with the products, and that are definitely growing month on month. They're growing their tools. They're growing their business tools. Because if we've been out and we've been doing the work and we've been letting people use our samples, they're going to have diminished. So of course we're going to need to top those up. So that is so crucial again in your business. And not waiting for the last minute to get those orders in. Get that in early. Get that in at the beginning of the month if you can. Yes, these flash buys that come out, and they're great incentives, but don't always necessarily just be waiting for out. Get your business orders in as soon as you can early on in the month, and then get working from there. So hitting your promos and quals. Now, really, it's important at this point. At every level, one of the first things I did, I wanted to understand the compensation plan. So I could, as soon as I got a team moving, I could help them and I could guide them and show them what they needed. If you look on your web stats, when I look on my web stats now, I know exactly everybody now what pretty much to a 10 QV, what you're all on, what you need to hit a qual, what you might need out of a certain leg. I'll tell you, if you ring me right now, I'll tell you exactly what you're on and what you need, because I'm checking it constantly and I know the compensation plan. So it's so important that you know that, because what if at midnight on the final day, you know, Jenny in your success line's on 780 and you've not picked up on that, and she didn't know that she needed 1,000 PQV to go into qual. How are you going to feel about that? She could have gone and got a PC, got over the line, got into qual, locked that in for next month, and she could be completing districts and a new district in your business. But you've not just let her down in that sense. You've let a full. She's going to duplicate you. You want, again, a team of people that are fully aware what their team are on, and that they're helping them and cheering them over the line. That they're seeing that, oh, you need one more PC to get your DM bonus. You need another 1,000 QV to go into area qual, but you also need 2,500 outside of that leg or sort of central district to make sure you go into that. So it's understanding each bit of the compensation plan, and that's how you're going to really engage with your team and helping them get those promos and quals. Now, at the beginning of the month, it's important to set goals with them and to understand this is what we really want to be doing, is helping teams every single month, team members, hitting a qualification of some sort. If the goal at the month is just for maintenance, that's not enough. That is not enough. Every single month on the first, you want to be speaking to your team. You want to know what next level they're going to. You want to be able to break that down for them. You want to say, right, this is your activity that you need to be doing then. Let's work together. Let's see where we can fit it in your diary, and let's go out there and let's get you to area qual this month. That comes from you, that mentality and that sort of belief. So, so again, just with that last week in sight, it's knowing the activity that you're going to need to do and help your team do to get over that line. We spoke about the 7-day cooling off period. So in advance, don't wait for the 23rd and then think, damn it, I need some product workshops. In the build up to that, be preparing. The consultants, if you know when their 7-day cooling off period is bang, their orders in, it might be the 23rd, the 24th, the launch is set, 2-3 launches in that last week. Get that momentum going in that last month, and you will see some amazing things happen in your business and happen with your volume. So thank you. That's all from me. I'm going to pass over to Regional Vice President Andy Roberts. So thank you.
Thanks for that, Sean. And good evening, everybody. I think obviously Sean's asked me to speak as well to give maybe a different perspective on this. Sean's already, as a professional, covered a lot of those points. So it might just be that I deliver it in a Yorkshire accent compared to a Lancashire accent, but hopefully we'll get some different points over for you. So I guess everybody at the start of this month set themselves some kind of goal, whether it be a stretch goal or some just a large goal, varying things that you've set out. And so with pretty much 48 hours left, it's going to be, you're going to approach this now in one of two ways. You're either going to think that goal's too tough, I'll settle with what I've got now, but next month I'm going to absolutely smash it. Or you're going to say to yourself, I'm just going to keep pushing and pushing hard until 10 o'clock on close day. And when I started this business, and indeed probably for the first, I don't know, maybe year and a half, I saw the national vice presidents and some of the other regional vice presidents really like being excited about close day. And I guess I never really bought into it because we'd not adopted that culture from day one. From day one, we'd almost just gone pretty much relentless at it and not looked at what the date in the calendar was. And so I asked myself, why does the magic happen on the last day and indeed in the last 2 days? And it's because we set ourselves these goals at the start of the month. And if you're a consultant and your goal is to complete districts and you needed 4,000, then you say to yourself, look, after 31 days, 4,000, it's doable. There's plenty of time for us to achieve this. But because you've set yourself such a long period of time, that 31 days, you don't have the urgency that you have towards the end. And it's only when you start to realize that, wow, I'm going to have to really up my activity for the last few days to hit this goal, that's where you can start to see that magic happen. Because realistically, you should have, and all of us should have adopted that policy from day one of the month. But other things get in the way. Easter gets in the way. You spend time with the family, and then 2 days later, you're thinking, all right, I'm a bit short now. I need to up the activity. And I guess what separates this business from most of us who either are self-employed or work for someone else, if you are working in an environment that's sales related or it's goal orientated, you've been doing that for so long. I've been working in a sales kind of environment for, God, maybe 20 years. So it just becomes second nature that you work consistently, you go to work every day, and you're striving for those results. You don't take your foot off the gas for 2 or 3 weeks and then the last couple of days of the month think to yourself, all right, we're behind target here, we really need to start pushing it. But equally so, if you are in a working environment where you have targets to it, or you've got certain KPIs that you're working towards, and you get 2 days away from the end of the month and you're nowhere near them, as a business, do you like cut off all your Google AdWords, or do you stop your local advertising because you're not going to hit the goals? No chance. If anything, you increase that activity, you increase your AdWord campaign just to get those last few sales over the line to hit you towards those targets. So I don't know. It's purely because we've done this kind of, we've had this mentality for the last however long we've worked in business, but because this is something new and it's something that's still fairly alien to everyone, we don't drive right to the end as we should do. So I guess it's just that you decide now whether you treat this business as a business, but get it into the mindset that this is what it's going to take to get you to the next levels. So ultimately now you've got a choice to make for the last 48 hours. Is the choice that I'm gonna push this hard, or is the choice that I'm going to settle? And ultimately the choice that you make is going to determine your success within this business, because 3 key points for me: the habit that you create will either be a good habit or a bad habit. If you get into the habit of finishing strongly every single month, then it just becomes a habit and it doesn't become a hardship months down the line, because you're just used to it. It's something that you always do. You always finish strong. However, if you're the kind of person that gets to the end, towards the end of the month, and you're struggling and you think, I'll wait for next month, that's going to create a habit as well, that you're always going to fall into that habit every single month. And when we speak about rallying around your team and things like that, if you're sat there without a team and you're thinking, well, that doesn't apply to me, it does apply to you, because the habits that you're creating for yourself are ultimately the habits that you're going to pass down to the people within your business as well. If new consultants join and they see you working really hard the last couple of days, they're just going to duplicate what you're doing, because you're their leader that's showing them how to become successful. If you disappear off the face of the earth for the last 2 days and go into your shell, they're going to think that that's what they need to do as well. So that example that you set in your team that you have now, but also the future team that you're going to have as well. And then the final one is, it's just a compound effect over the months and over the years. If you're taking your foot off the gas for those two, 3 last days of every month, compounded over time, that makes a massive difference. But equally so, if you're creating the good habits at the end of the month, then again, that compounded is going to lead you to massive results over time. So finally, I guess, in terms of this section is, when making that choice as to how am I going to push right to the end at 10 o'clock on close day, or am I going to settle, then think back to your why you're doing this business. Because if you're doing this, let's take me and Rachel for an example. We're doing this business for our kids and for the future of our kids. We're leaving them for a week on Sunday when we go to Vegas. So if we take our foot off the gas now, ultimately that's going to have an impact on the reason why we're doing this business. So it's not right to be going to Vegas in 15 days or however long it is, to leave them with somebody else if we're just going to be going there and treating this as a hobby rather than a business. So think back to your why, and is your why strong enough to encourage you to get into massive activity for the last two days and just adapt to no matter what approach. So in terms of the importance of the 150 QV minimum order, I know most of you on this call, but there are some faces and names that I'm not familiar with. So that's telling me that we do have people on here that are fairly new to the business. So it is important to stress just how important this 150 personal order is. And that's as a minimum. I mean, our order, we probably order 400, 500, 600 QVs worth of products every single month, because in my mind, it's just absolutely essential that, one, you're using all the products that you possibly can so that you can speak about them with experience. As Sean mentioned, you're topping up your business tools as well so that you can share these products with other people. And it's also about setting the example as well. So, I don't know, a bit of an example. If your job was you were a butcher, but you went down to Lidl to buy your meat from Lidl because it was cheaper than your own shop, then how would that make you look when punters come in and ask you what the ribeye is like, but you can't describe it because you don't know what the taste is, you don't know what the texture is, because you're used to the one that you're buying from Lidl. So turn that into the example for your own business. So if you're not using the products that you possibly can, and people are asking you about them, and you can't give an accurate answer, then you're not in this business for the right reason. You're in this purely for the money. And ultimately, that's not going to be strong enough to make you stay within this business. And ultimately, the more products that you use, the more successful within sales you're going to be. And again, we know it's a business about duplication. If, say you have a dream team event at your house, you invite 5 or 6 of your consultants round, and one of them goes to the bathroom, and when they're washing their hands, they see an Imperial leather soap. We're going to be thinking, how serious is this guy taking the business if he's not even using the Arbonne hand wash? Little things like that. So have a look at your house and what products are you using? What Arbonne products are you using? Or what other products are you using that you should be using Arbonne? Because ultimately, you need to be buying products every single month. One, so that you're actually doing the business correctly and taking it seriously. And I guess it's important not to get into the mindset that, well, at the moment I'm not making much money, so I can't afford to be buying the Arbonne shower gel or the Arbonne shampoo and conditioner. I'll nip down to Pound Stretcher this month. Ultimately, that it's a short-term sacrifice at the moment, investing in yourself to have a long-term benefit within this company. Because it's just all about being someone that's playing all in. And I know the vast majority of people on here, I see their orders going in, so I know full well that the vast majority of people on here are using the products, and ultimately that's the only way to be if you are going to be successful within this business. So that's it from me. I can't stress how important it is to close these last 2 days really, really strongly. The people that you've been speaking to throughout the month, don't be scared to follow up with them and ask them for a bit of feedback on how the products were, if there's anything that you can do to help them get those products ordered. Because people might really like the products, they might be wanting to order them, but things get in the way and they're just forgotten. So it's now that you can make this difference by doing things that other people don't do. So going to hand back to Sean and for Sean to wrap up.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for that, Andy. And and we know, when we're on these calls, we know a lot of you that are on these calls are doing these things. But as well, what we want to achieve with you is that you're insisting on this throughout your team. It's all good just saying you do it, but it's having that confidence to show and tell your team that this is how you do it. It's important to close big. It's important to get your 150 in. And being non-negotiable with those things, because you are really wanting to give people the best opportunity with this business. And the best opportunity with this business throughout the 35 years of it is hitting those goals, is hitting those promos and helping people do it, closing big and getting those personal orders in. That is the core of this business that will drive you and all your team right through to where you want to be. So yeah, everyone that's on it, you may be doing those things, but it's growing that leadership and that confidence to when you're setting someone up and showing them, you're setting them up properly, that you're getting them launched, with urgency and getting them into a momentum straight away. We don't want people to drop off because they've not had a launch quick enough. As soon as you launch someone, as soon as you get someone a PC, you've got them some business. They're ready to go. They're not going to quit. They're not going to leave just because someone said something negative in maybe the first 10 days. If you've launched them twice and they've got 2 PCs and a consultant, do you think they're going to leave because someone said this? They will no, because it's working already for me. So it's that urgency and it's that sort of mentality to adopt, yes, through the whole month, but especially in those last sort of 48 hours, because anything is possible. And just watch, if you take what we've said from tonight, really go into tomorrow and the next day with massive, massive urgency, you're going to see some big, big changes in your business. And then adopt that. Let's take that and let's adopt that right through next month and the coming months and get that into this team and into this culture. Close should be exciting. It should be big. We should be sharing stuff right through to the last minute on somebody's put this in, somebody's hit this quote, someone's done that quote. That's exciting. That's what this business is all about. People want to see that and have that buzz going. So let's close this month big. It's looking fantastic already. Let's get those goals done. And we've got a couple of minutes. If anybody wants to fire any questions over, feel free. But again, thank you everyone for being on tonight. And I know there's a lot of people out doing activity. So the people that are going to watch the recording, awesome stuff for you out doing that activity. And I hope you've enjoyed the call as well. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks. Has anybody got any questions? We've got just over 5 minutes left. If you have, just drop a message on chat.
No,
silence is golden.
Oh no, we just got a cheers. There we go.
Right, no problem. Okay, well, I'll get this posted up tonight, this video. So any of your team that have missed it, let them know whereabouts they can find this. But it'll be on the group page tonight.
Great stuff.
So cheers, everybody.
Night, everyone. Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night.